Is there a dark side of femininity? For many, yes. But for me, absolutely not. Here's why. I'm not turning on my dark side, and I'm not turning on my alter ego. In fact, there is never a dark side of feminine, or what people may call dark feminine, for me. And here's why. If you go to John 8:12, Jesus said, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have light of life. So should we, as Christian women, subscribe to any form of darkness? No. It's important for me to state that so I would never be confused with anybody else. We are to seek Jesus. In fact, Jeremiah 29:13 has always been one of my favorites. I know you all hear me say I have favorite scriptures, but I have a lot of favorites depending on what season I am. It says, you will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with your whole heart. So as Christians, we should seek who? Jesus. We are to seek purity. Okay, I have another scripture for you. And you all can write these scriptures down and study them, meditate on them. Psalms 119:9. It says, how can a young person stay on the path of purity? By living according to your word. We are to seek holiness. So I said we're to seek Jesus. You all know that, right? Okay. We are to seek purity. Okay, so is there darkness in purity? Is there darkness in Jesus? Okay, we're still going. We are to seek holiness. 1 Peter 1:16. Be ye holy for what? I am holy. Is there darkness in holiness? So holiness, the word holiness means to separate. Holiness always makes a separation. So what I find in social media is because it's become a big thing now to talk about the dark feminine. A lot of times women don't know. So what does that mean? Are all the femininity people talking about the dark side? Should I turn on my masculine side? Me? Absolutely not, because my conviction is always Jesus. We are to seek righteousness. You all know this scripture. Seek ye first the what? And what else? And then what happens? What things? Everything. So I was on the jet going out of town last week, and I was reading about righteousness, and I literally was weeping. And as I was weeping, reading the Bible, the Lord said, do you know, many people say they love me, but they don't. He said, do you know, many people say they love righteousness, but they don't. So I was asking him one day, because I have a curious mind, and I said, how do I explain righteousness to a little child? Because if we can't really explain it to a child, we don't really know it that well, honestly. So we have our young girls, 10, well, Hannah turns 11 next week, but almost 11, 9, 7. So I said, how do I explain it to them? So have you all taught righteousness means to be in right standing with God? And I think that's easy for us to understand, but it can make little kids feel like perfection is unattainable. If you took an extra cookie, I'm not in right standing with God. I know me. I used to reach in that cookie bowl many times. And so I said, well, God, how do I explain it to little children? And he said, to seek righteousness means to seek everything right about me. What's right about God? Name some things. Seek to be loving. What else? Seek to be merciful. What else? Seek to be peaceful. What else? Seek to be holy. Is that not simple? It means whatever is right about him, just go in that direction. That means darkness is taking us another direction. I never, and I mean ever, want to be associated with people who believe that they have to teach the dark side of feminine. My conviction is that the way I show up in life, in my home, and in my business is that I fear the Lord. And it's okay for you all to make sure that other people know that about you as well. Some people are so afraid, well, I'm going to offend people. If I talk about my faith, I'm going to offend people. No, you're actually going to attract people whose their conviction is also the Lord. So I'm very careful on the words that I use, like feminine energy, feminine aura, because what they're really saying when they don't know where to place me, because a lot of people, they don't know where to place me, what you're feeling is the fruit of the Spirit. His gentleness, his peace, his love. But it's important for me to always state that difference. So when people come to me, they say, can you teach me how to have this feminine art? Yes, love Jesus with all your heart and with all your mind and with all your soul. Seek purity, seek righteousness, seek holiness. Oh. Because everything that I am flows out of that. So when women come to me, I'm not teaching them a formula on how to be this. I'm teaching them, let's first go back to the basics on how you are with the Lord. And I'm going to show you something so powerful that I just discovered last week in just a second. Remember how I taught you all about Hannah? It was her brokenness that moved the Lord. Remember I told you that? Well, a lot of women they either love femininity or they hate it. And a lot of them hate it because they feel like they're going to appear weak and they don't want to feel like someone is walking over them. But let me show you something so powerful. Go to John 11:14. I'm going to show you something so powerful that I literally almost jumped out of my bed when I discovered this. Okay, and it's quite a few verses, but I promise you, once we get to the end of this, you are going to feel like a brand new woman. Wow. Okay, John 11:14. Then Jesus said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead. Okay, you all remember the story about Mary and Martha and Lazarus and Jesus. Okay. You read the Bible. All right. John 11:19. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him. But Mary sat still in the house. Then said Mary unto Jesus, let me put on my Martha voice. Lord, if you would have been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it to you. Jesus said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know he'll rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Do you believe me, Martha? She said unto him, yeah, Lord. I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. And when she had so said, that was her last statement, she went her way and called Mary, her sister, secretly, saying, the Master is come and calleth for thee. Now, skip to verse 32. This is very important. I literally just saw this last week, and I promise you, I felt like my eyebrows stood up on my eyes. Listen to this. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was and saw him, she fell down at his feet. Her posture was different than Martha's. Okay? Now, here it is. Her brother's dead. What's the natural inclination of a hardened heart when you don't get what you want? To be mad, disappointed. Humility is thrown out of the window. But she humbled herself, even in her grief. She fell down at his feet and saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. Basically, if you would have been here, he would have died. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled. Do you know what that means? Mary moved Jesus. Martha's disappointment didn't move Jesus. I told you you were going to, the same grief, different response. Same brother, different posture. To the point that when Jesus said, wait a minute, Mary's crying, the people with her are crying, and our favorite scripture, 2 words, Jesus wept. And then he said, when he looked around, he said, now God, you've got to do something. He was moved by her posture and their tears to say, Lazarus, get on out of that grave. Lazarus, come forth. This is why I teach what I teach. Because Martha got no movement in her response because her heart wasn't humble. She was too busy pointing fingers. This could have happened. But Mary said, I'm going to humble myself. You are Jesus. And this is the missing token that those who are teaching women the other way, a manipulative way, don't understand, because their conviction is not the fear of the Lord. When your conviction is he's perfect, you can posture yourself to say, he is perfect, and I'm going to be humble with him. That's why the scripture says that a broken and contrite, what? What happens? He will never reject the broken and the humble. So where a lot of women are missing it, they're trying so hard to be that in a manipulative way. Let me act like I'm something to get a man. Let me act like I'm something to get a job. No, when you fear the Lord and you are humble and you're seeking holiness and you're seeking righteousness and you're seeking purity, what's going to happen is you're going to be like Mary. No matter what happens to shake you up, your posture will always be humility. Pride says, I have a reason why my heart is closed to you. Humility says, you are the Lord of my life. I have a challenge for you. I want you to read every scripture that tells you the benefits of making Jesus your Lord. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shield. The Lord is my buckler. The Lord is my strong tower. The old people used to say, he's a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When you make him a Lord, you're not shaken by things because he's perfect. And one of the worst things that you want to do is let yourself be convinced that something happened to you where you can't be humble with him anymore. Not grief. There's so many women, well, I don't want to have a relationship with women. I'm done. I've gotten burned too many times. Is your heart shut towards women, or is your heart shut towards him? In this big world with I don't know how many people in this world, you serve a big God that you believe that no other woman you can have a deep relationship with. You may say you shut your heart to them, but some part of you shut your heart to him. Reason why I'm teaching you this now is because I never want people to be confused because they hear me talk about being soft and feminine, that they can put me in a box with all those other women. And I learned it from this and exactly what I'm about to teach you today. Remember I did a newsletter about this? Clinique. What does it say? The first 2 words. Dramatically different. I was searching for a lotion and I was searching for something for our tween daughters. And in a world on Amazon, you go on Amazon, you type in like clean shampoos, you're going to see 50 million. But when I saw this dramatically different, I said, oh, you're mine. Because you stated that you were dramatically different. You have to state your difference. When you state your difference, I'm telling you, you have no competition. You have no metric that you're saying, well, this person has 100,000 and all they do is post B-roll with little points, so I need to do that. No, make your own lane. There's no competition there. Amanda Ferguson is in her own niche. And I don't say that to be arrogant. I say that the same way Clinique says, I'm dramatically different. Because the type of women that we are attracting to Feminine Woman Academy are women who their conviction is the Lord. They want to be women who are masterful in their career, but most importantly, a wise woman who also builds her home. What I found is that, and I wrote a couple of notes down that I want to close with. A lot of women feel like, when they come to me, they say things like this. And maybe you all have said this as well. They say, I have the career, I have the leadership position, but I realized that I brought that dominant presence back home to my husband, and it wreaked havoc on my marriage. They say things like, I can get it done and lead well at work and show people how to fix things about themselves. But then when I get home, I pick apart my kids. And my kids have low self-esteem. They say, I appear to be everything at work and I put the face on, but people don't know when I go to my car, I cry because I want to feel soft, but I feel like I'm trapped in a hard body. These are the women who come to me because the same reason why I chose this lotion. They realize my book, you all read my book, right? I'm telling you this because there's never been, look at how big she is. There's never been a book written like this. And I mean that with all of my heart. So when women find me, they say, I have to get this book because you fill the gap that has been present for a long time. When women come to Feminine Woman Academy, they realize I need something way different because God is calling me to be a brand new type of woman. Now I get to teach you all how to build something on social media that's dramatically different. Are you ready? Let's go.